The jungle was dense, thick. Sunlight struggled to reach the ground. We were deep in uncharted territory, far from any town, far from help. The air hung heavy, wet, like a damp blanket. Sweat poured. This was tough work. An excavation crew was carving a new path, cutting through the wild. Their heavy machines roared, a constant deafening sound. They were pushing the boundaries of civilization, but the jungle always pushes back. This place held ancient secrets, secrets buried deep beneath the soil. One excavator bit into the earth, again and again. Its operator, a man named Carlos, knew this land, or so he thought. He had worked these remote sites for years. But today felt different. The ground was stubborn, resisting the steel bucket. He pushed the levers. The engine strained. Deeper they dug, deeper than planned. An unspoken tension filled the humid air. Nerves were on edge. Was it the isolation or something else, something primal, lurking just out of sight, waiting? The sun beat down, relentless. The day dragged on, every muscle ached. Thirst was a constant companion, yet the work continued. The machines growled. The earth yielded slowly, reluctantly. Each scoop of dirt felt like a victory, but a hollow one. The jungle watched, silent, its ancient eyes unblinking. The crew felt it, a sense of being observed, of disturbing something best left alone. But the job had to be done. Progress demanded it, or so they believed. Suddenly a thud, a jarring halt. The excavator shuddered violently. Carlos gripped the controls, his knuckles white. This wasn't rock, it wasn't compacted earth. This was something else, something yielding, yet immensely strong. The engine whined, then stalled. An eerie silence descended, broken only by the drip of sweat, and the distant calls of unseen birds. All eyes turned to the motionless machine. What had they found? What lay hidden in the deep, dark earth? The jungle held its breath. Carlos switched off the ignition. His heart pounded. He unclipped his seatbelt, slowly, cautiously. He climbed down from the excavator's cabin. His boots crunched on the loose soil. The other workers gathered, a small crowd, their faces etched with curiosity and a touch of fear. "What is it, Carlos?" one man asked, his voice barely a whisper. Carlos didn't answer. He approached the pit, the point of impact. He knelt down. He needed to see. He needed to understand. He began to clear the earth, gently, with his bare hands. The soil was loose around the object. He brushed it away, then he saw it. A texture, smooth, almost leathery, but hard. He scraped more. A pattern emerged, dark, glistening like polished stone, but not stone, scales. Enormous, overlapping scales, each one bigger than his hand, an impossible size. A cold dread washed over him. This was no buried log, no forgotten relic. This was something alive, or it had been. "Get back!" Carlos yelled, his voice hoarse. "Everyone, get back now!" He scrambled away from the edge. The ground beneath his feet trembled. A low rumble started deep within the earth, like distant thunder. But it wasn't thunder. It was a sound of something stirring, something immense. The earth around the exposed scales began to crack, to heave. Dirt cascaded into the pit. The workers stumbled backwards, their eyes wide with disbelief and dawning horror. This was a nightmare unfolding. Then it rose, slowly, majestically, from the dark embrace of the earth. A head, broader than any man, covered in those same colossal scales, eyes like burning embers, yellow and cold, fixed upon them. Ancient, unblinking, filled with an intelligence that chilled them to the bone. A forked tongue, black as night, flicked out, tasting the air, testing the intruders. The giant snake, a creature from myth, a legend made real. It was awake, and it was not happy. Screams tore through the jungle air, raw terror, primal fear. The workers scattered like ants from a disturbed nest. They ran, tripping, falling, desperate to escape. This wasn't just a snake, this was a monster, a titan from a forgotten age. Its size was impossible, its presence overwhelming. The air itself seemed to vibrate with its power, its ancient anger, their tools, their machines, all forgotten. Survival was the only thought. Escape from the awakened beast. The serpent, ripped from its eons-long slumber, was enraged. Its massive body, thicker than the oldest trees, uncoiled. More and more of it emerged, an endless river of muscle and scale. The ground shook with its movement. It surveyed the scene. The metal beast that had dared to bite it. The tiny human scurrying in fear. Its hiss was a storm wind, a promise of destruction. This was its domain, its resting place. And they had trespassed. They had desecrated. With terrifying speed it struck. Not at the fleeing men, not yet. Its target was the excavator, the source of its rude awakening. The colossal body wrapped around the machine. Coils tightening, steel groaned, twisted, screeched in protest. The cabin where Carlos had sat moments before imploded, crushed like a child's toy, a demonstration of its awesome power, a warning. The machine was mangled, useless, a testament to the serpent's fury. This was nature's raw, untamed might. Chaos erupted. Men ran blindly into the dense jungle, anywhere, away from the monster. Some tried to hide behind trees, behind piles of earth, but there was no hiding. The site supervisor fumbled with his radio, his hands shaking. "Mayday, mayday, we need help!" A giant snake, unbelievably big, his voice cracked. The snake, having dealt with the machine, now turned its cold gaze towards the sounds of panic, towards the scent of fear. Its hunt had begun. The desperate radio calls pierced the outside world. Disbelief at first, then growing alarm. A giant snake attacking an excavation site? It sounded like fiction, but the panic in the voices was real. Local police were alerted. They were brave, but they knew this was beyond them. Handguns and shotguns? Useless against such a beast. This needed more. Much more. The call went up the chain, to the military. They had the resources, the training, the firepower. Soon, a new sound filled the sky, louder than the jungle birds, deeper than the serpent's hiss. The rhythmic whump-whump-whump of heavy helicopter rotors. Multiple aircraft, approaching fast. Soldiers, clad in combat gear, peered down, assessing the chaos, their faces grim, professional. They were descending into a primal battleground. They rappelled down ropes, boots hitting the scarred earth. They carried specialized equipment, heavy tranquilizer guns, reinforced nets, capture gear designed for the extraordinary. The confrontation was immediate. The giant snake, a force of nature, met modern military might. It was a terrifying dance. The serpent lunged, its speed belying its enormous size. Soldiers scattered, took positions, their training kicking in. Orders were shouted, clear, precise. They worked as a team, trying to distract it, to herd it, away from the remaining terrified civilians, away from escape routes. The air filled with the crackle of radios, the thud of tranquilizer darts. Some missed, some bounced off its thick scales, but the military pressed on, relentless, coordinated. They deployed large, reinforced nets, fired volley after volley of potent tranquilizers. It was a battle of attrition, steel and strategy against ancient power and fury. Slowly, agonizingly slowly, the giant beast began to falter. Its movements became sluggish, its hisses weaker. Finally, one well-aimed dart found its mark, a vulnerable spot. The massive head drooped, the colossal body sagged, the titan was subdued. The immediate danger was over. The survivors were safe, thanks to the brave men and women who faced the impossible. The jungle would remember, and so would they.